My name is Mr. Cliff from Adelaide, South Australia. You're tuned in to CCP Podcasting with some great guys, but not John. John, you get detention!
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome back to Beyond the Bell Live. I am Chris Page, and this is going to be a fantastic show on this Sunday evening here on Twitch. Welcome everybody in. Shout out to the Gothic one over in the Netherlands. I see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well on this Sunday evening. It's going to be a great conversation that we're about to have with our guest tonight. Before we get there, a couple of announcements. Tomorrow night, for those here in chat, 7 p.m. Eastern, Brendan Devine, the ace of MPW Millennium Pro Wrestling from Southern California, will be here live at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing a watch party for the Anniversary Spectacular. I had the honor and privilege of being ringside in Chatsworth, right outside of Los Angeles, for this show about 2.5 weeks ago. And let me tell you guys, you do not want to miss it. The crew at Millennium Pro came out and they hit it, and they hit it hard. We've also got the big news for us, Chapter 1 Genesis on November the 22nd in Orlando, Florida. We are coming, and we are coming hard with Chapter 1. Our main event has already been set. Matthew Ennis, that little prick, sponsored by Throwdown with Matt. Can't explain why, but he did. He's going to take on the Hawaiian Warrior, Keikoa. We're hoping that Keikoa can just go ahead and shut this guy up once and for all, and we'll see it live on the 22nd of November, right outside of Orlando in Castleberry, Florida. Let's jump into why we're here tonight. My guest today, I had the honor and privilege of sitting down and checking out live for the first time, probably 2 or 3 months ago, I would say. It was a random show, local pro wrestling. It was running out of right outside of Orlando. God, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it'll tell me in just a minute. There were a handful of talents there that really stuck out to me as people there's something there, whether it was character work, whether it was the in-ring work, whether it was how the crowd reacted to them or rallied behind them. And this is one of the guys that caught my attention. And I had seen some of his stuff and some of his clips out on social media, but never had the opportunity to see him live until that particular night. And thank God that I did, because the dude's got something. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Lifeguard Izzy Vaden. How's it going, my man?
Oh, it is really me, and I am doing great. I'm doing super. I'm not sweaty. We're doing great.
We're not on the beach.
Doing good in the hood. You dang right.
How's it going, man? First of all, thank you for taking some time to sit down with me tonight and be able to chat with you about what you've got going on and you specifically in your journey in independent wrestling and what you're doing now, man. It should be a fantastic conversation. I cannot be more excited to sit down and have it.
Yeah, I can't wait to have this. And I saw you were about to drink something. I was going to show my drink of choice, too.
Yeah.
No one's ever heard of this, and if you have, you're one of the lucky few. Blue cream soda, it does sound weird. Trust me, it's really good. I'm not sponsored, but yeah.
It should be. We'll tag that.
I wish,
we'll clip that. We'll clip that and throw that out there. And for sure,
ooh, so good.
I would be remiss, man, if I didn't point out the sign right behind you as well, man. Sign Izzy Vaden, guys. Let's make that happen.
That right there. So, funny story. Last year, I went to the Royal Rumble, and me and my friends wanted to just have like a little sign just to have. That was the first sign I made. Hopefully they would have seen it on camera. But on the other side of that, I wrote, "Thank you, Jack Perry." Because we were just like, we wouldn't have CM Punk in the Royal Rumble if it wasn't for Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. So thank you.
Goth from the Netherlands says, hello, welcome to CCB Podcasting, and he laughed his ass off at that. So I couldn't agree with you more, though, because this may come as a hot take, or maybe not. I'm a Punk guy. I like CM Punk. I like what he brings to the table. You know, I say people can say what you will. I don't give a shit about what anybody does with their time outside of the ring, because I'm watching them while they're in the ring. And in the ring, you can't tell me that the dude's not entertaining, that he doesn't deliver, that he's not fantastic on the microphone, these are all boxes being checked. I just wish people would get past a lot of the nonsense and tomfoolery that comes along with professional wrestling. But alas, here we are.
I know.
I start these conversations off, man. I like to start at the top because everybody, jumps into professional wrestling with their fandom at some point in time or another. It's all different and it's all just crazy in its own right. But where does it intersect with you? Where do you fall in love with pro wrestling?
So it's so weird. I want to say everyone fell in love with wrestling as a kid, or like we watched it growing up on TV. I didn't have that kind of access on TV, surprisingly. My main access to, I'd say, wrestling or WWE was when my cousins would bring like a WWE SmackDown versus Raw, and I would play it with them whenever they were here. But other than that, I had no way to watch it, so I didn't know. The one that got me hooked on it was WWE All Stars. One of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest WWE video games because it's the most like cartoonish tomfoolery. It obviously makes no sense, but at the same time, it's super cool. It's arcadey. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I got to like learn about these people. Then I found out, oh, they air it weekly. I didn't know that. And then I watched it like clips on YouTube, and then people would post the full show. It was great. And then like I must have been like 14 or 15. Someone told me, why don't you just be a WWE wrestler since you like it so much? I'm like, no way I could do that. Like, no, that's not possible. And then someone told me later on, like, yeah, you could just like wrestle, like do pro wrestling. And then I found out, oh, there's there's other stuff outside of WWE.
Yep.
Okay. And then I didn't know. I didn't know, but like at least I did. And then I found out, oh, I could just do it as a career. And then I pursued that instead. I did one semester in college, found out it was not for me. And I sat my parents down and I said, yo, I want to be a pro wrestler. So I want to go to wrestling school and do this. They were supportive. Very, very supportive. God bless them. And then I think recently they found out. No, they told me. Honestly, we thought it was a phase. Like, no, I wanted to.
Brother,
I really want to do this, guys.
You're preaching to the choir. Well, all right. So to my story, I got in 99. I was in from 99 to 05, and literally that's what by 2001, same thing. I thought you were just kidding. But at this point, we were touring all over the South. We were running Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, off Tuesday, Wednesday. But it was just one of those things. It was different times. It was like a territory, at that point in time. I got out for 20 years. I got back in 2 years ago with this podcasting shit. Had no clue or concept of where it was going to take me or if it was going to do anything. It was not the intent. And here we are. It's like, I got out and now I got back in, and thank God I've got a fucking loving partner who understands and appreciates the passion of what's going on. Cause this is outside of a 45-hour week. This isn't a 30, just here in front of the computer. But you don't get into it on this level, right? Even on the independent level, you don't get into it this way unless you truly love the game and love what you're doing and love what you're performing and getting out there and honing in on what you're doing. Which really leads me to my next question is, when you sat your folks down, this is not, college isn't for me, and you're preaching to the choir again. I lasted more than a semester. I lasted a year, but that was it. And I was like, no, I'm done. I can't. It's not for me. When you're really serious about this and you have that conversation, when you get into the aspects of training and you're looking into locations to go, Flatbacks comes across your radar. How does that pan out? Or was that the first place that you reached out to, or what's that process look like?
It was Flatbacks for my first choice because I had a mentor named Adam Briniarski. His wrestling name was Adam Windsor. Rest in peace. Little fun fact, he's actually the son-in-law of Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's besides the point. Just a little name drop, that's all. He helped me train sort of like just aspects of storytelling. So he would send me clips during 2020, during quarantine, of like, hey, watch these matches and take notes. And I would like not only watch it, I'd study it religiously. And then I'd go back to him, talk about it more. We loved talking about wrestling because like that was what he wanted to do. My introduction to him was actually through my mom because they worked together at UF Shands at the time. So we got to talking more. He helped me get into Flatbacks. He told me about it. He was like, hey, I know Sean Spears. they said you could probably start in October. I couldn't at the time because I wanted to start in the new year. So that was October 2020. He wanted me to start. I said I couldn't, but I could probably do January. So January 2021, I went. And what sucks is because I live in Gainesville, their school is 2.5 hours away. I didn't know, but I'm pretty sure at the time they had housing. No one told me that. So this is where I had my fun little Izzy moments where I would drive 2.5 hours there and 2.5 hours back home for 2.5 months.
Every day.
That shows some dedication. And I would come back home limping. I'm talking wincing in pain. I remember I had my ribs broken. Like, just stuff like this happens. But I also was taught, like, this isn't kind of going to happen almost all the time. You kind of have to, like, have that grit to take it, and also just the perseverance to just keep going. If you want it that bad, how far will you take it? And I'm like, well, I want it not only bad, I want it like it's all I am. I wanted this more than anything. I still study it. I will like dissect every wrestling match. But not only that, I always want to watch wrestling as a fan, and then I'll watch it again as just to study it. That's usually just been my philosophy. I want to watch it as a fan because that's what got me into it, is as a fan. I don't want to critique it at the very beginning. Otherwise, I'll just point out every flaw. I'd rather just enjoy the fun. And I think that's something else I also learned in Flatbacks was just to have fun, just to let loose, because you can. And the more I got into this business, it's been 4 years now. And the more I train around, more I do seminars, more I have wrestling matches, talk to people, meet people like all over. It's super fun. It's super fun, I swear. And I also try to invite other people to, if you don't know, at least try it out. And I even like notice WWE they'll bring in college athletes, and they've had really great people on there. There are some people that have left, I'd say NXT, where obviously it was not their first choice, but it was, I guess, something for them to do, and they saw some passion to it. But then you see like the other people on the indie scene that they really want this. They may not have that platform to get their name up there and at least get a tryout, but you're going to see their heart. And I know it just takes time to perfect it. And I know like NXT is more like a factory where they're trying to set people up there, but there's also so many other different promotions, and there's also so many different ways to get your way up. Flatbacks has always also just taught me to like keep pursuing it. And it's really also, you got to shake babies and kiss hands. You got it's sometimes about the people you know, but it's also your hard work will shine. And I mean, it got me here. It got me on this podcast because you got to see me. So, you know, I think I'm doing something right, but I got so many more years ahead. I'm super excited for it.
100%. You know, you say a couple of things because we literally found out 2 seconds when we came on the air that we're both in Gainesville. So yeah. Take it from a dude who has to travel an hour and a half or 2.5 hours in either direction, either down to Tampa or to Orlando or to Jacksonville. You know, I get it. That drive ain't nothing to play with. But what I can appreciate about that is it does show like a very stern level of commitment to what you're trying to do. That in itself would push a lot of people out, because what people may fail to realize is that this shit ain't fucking ballet. You know, when you're going through training, you just touched on it. Like, you broke some ribs. Like, this stuff happens. The first day of training for me, we ran ropes. Oh, we ran cables, brother. I went home with bruises on my back. I couldn't pick up my 2-year-old niece who weighed, 15 pounds. I couldn't pick her up. So this stuff happens. But on top of that, having to get back in the car and drive 2.5 hours after this has gone down and after this has happened. So, like, I get it, and I can respect that, because that is not something that people will see or see on a daily with a lot of people. It can push somebody out pretty quickly, and it kind of just firms down that commitment to what you're trying to do and what you want to do, and that's commendable. And I want to take a minute to just acknowledge that, just because I live in Gainesville, I know what that drive's like. I get it. I'm not a fan of the swamp, if you can tell.
No, not a lot of people are.
Thank God they pay me well to be here, man. Let me just tell you. But something else you touched on too is when you're getting into this thing, and the trial and error of it all, right? Like that's all a dance. Everybody has strong suits. Everybody has weak suits when they're getting into the ring. So what were some of the struggles that you had initially that you had to overcome? And on the backside of that, what's some stuff that came to you pretty naturally?
I've always been somewhat charismatic. I'm very humble, by the way, but I've always been, at least in some way, I'm very charismatic. I find humor in moments. I can make good jokes somewhat. Again, I'm very humble if you can't tell. So what I've gotten to at least do more, especially as a lifeguard now, because before I used to take it so seriously in wrestling, like, oh yeah, I got to be like this itty gritty character. I need people to not only respect me, I need them to fear me because I'm supposed to be like some big buff dude. Sometimes you can just be goofy. Sometimes you can just be the funny person. Sometimes being like seen as such a threat doesn't make you have to seem so maybe even evil. Maybe you just have to seem more human. And I think that's what I somewhat came more naturally over time, but it also was sort of like a wake-up call because when I was the lifeguard, originally, I looked like a SHIELD member. I had a vest, tactical vest, pants, all the weird get-up. And I think at the time, because this was, when you're in indie wrestling, when you start off, everyone does the same thing where we do it on 2K. We got to you make your character on like WWE 2K or something, right? I've had this whole lore about Izzy Vaden. He calls himself the lifeguard, but he looks like a SHIELD member because he saves people's lives, but he comes from the crowd. All this cool stuff, right? I think that is what it was at first. But then someone told me hey, I think it's an interesting gimmick, but whenever you go to a new show, they're not going to get that. You hear the lifeguard and you come out in a tactical vest, we're like, what's going on? And I think I even understood that completely, and I was just like, because this is when I thought, this is where I have to seem gritty. This is where I have to seem you need to respect me. I'm a good guy, but I'm also a big threat. But not at the time, and maybe a year before, during quarantine, I watched a lot of Baywatch. I'm talking almost all of it. And I think that's when I started to go, hey, I already call myself the lifeguard. Why not just do that character? It wouldn't hurt. So then I just got black shorts, had someone print guard on it, and I was like, okay, I think I'll be good to go. And I had a red shirt that said lifeguard, picked up. And then eventually I went barefoot, and then I got the red and blue shorts, and then I have the big tubes of them. And I got whistles to sell, pictures, shirts, stuff like that. And it's got, people like it. And people are also I hear lifeguard, I don't see a big black dude. That's valid.
So, couple things over in chat. Goss says, "Thank you, Baywatch." LOL. And you've got a friend from the UK, Paul's in chat, says, "Now I've got that theme in my head. Thanks."
My fault.
He blames Goth, but I think he just came in on the conversation because, legit, that was the thing. But something that drew me in initially when it comes to you specifically was I check a lot of stuff out on Instagram, obviously. While I hate social media, I think it's the bane of existence. It's kind of a necessary evil, especially when you're trying to promote an entire platform is independent wrestling. When I started seeing some of your clips, the first thing that I thought was, first of all, I see the lifeguard, and I'm like, wait, what? I've not seen someone do this. I've not seen this quote unquote gimmick or character, if you will. I'll call it character. I haven't seen this character presented, and we're in Florida, and I'm sure that there's some other folks out there that are running a lifeguard gimmick, but you were the first one that I saw. And then when I see this big dude, I'm like, wait a minute. So, and then the clip that I saw specifically, I can't remember if it was for WWN. It was you posted it. I don't know that you did it was a standing drop kick was the tail end of the clip, and you had a very big vertical leap on this drop kick, and I went, God damn, how high did he just jump up off the ground vertically there? And then fast forward from my perspective, when I knew that I was going to the local pro show, I scrolled through, I looked up their social media, and I looked at the card, and when I saw that you were booked on that show, I kind of did an internal yes, because I'm going to get to see and experience this live, because seeing it in a clip versus being there, being present hearing the crowd reacting to you, hearing them getting behind you, watching you do what you like. It's a whole different situation. Like, you have to experience it live. You had that factor online, and then it was one of the deciding factors of, all right, I'm going to make Claremont. That's what I was looking for at the start of the show. I'm going to make this drive to Claremont to go down and see the show, because I didn't have any expectations. So I thought, it's kind of cool to hear when you say, like, nobody expects a big black lifeguard. No, you don't. But that's a piece of what kind of draws people in. And then you see the athletic ability that's behind it. And then you start seeing the crowd connection. So when you're building this character and you realize that it's clicking, like, okay, so there's something here. What's that internally feel like for you? And when do you really realize it? At what point in your career are you like, okay, this now we're where we need to be?
I think the more I got to be myself, and that's what has really carried a lot of my wrestling career, is like, yes, I'm the lifeguard. I do lifeguard mannerisms, but I'm also allowed to be my goofy self, my charismatic. I get to show it. I get to like do weird bits like with the crowd. I can like go into someone, pretend I'm doing CPR, and then go right back in the ring. Stuff like that. Like, and it's the stuff I actually look forward to, because like that kind of connections I have with the crowd. I like entertaining people. I've done it ever since I was a kid. I used to do plays for my old church, and I even like did acting in like school and stuff like that. It was just the stuff like, I love theater. I like telling stories through this, but I also like connecting with people and making them feel emotions. I want them to be sad. I want them to be happy. I want them to laugh, and I want them to like feel bad for other people. This is the kind of things that like I think I just find joy in that. Just being able to storytell, being able to have like this one thing and take them on a crazy journey all over, and eventually it'll wrap up. Either I win or lose. They're gonna feel bad almost all the time when I lose, because whenever I'm looking at the lights and they count that 3, they're like, oh, like, yep. Like, I know.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
I was there. It happened to me, and I went, oh goddamn. But you have this connectability, right? And that's a big piece of professional wrestling. You have to connect. If you can't connect, then you're probably going to get lost in the shuffle or get lost in the sauce. You have this ability to do this in front of just about every audience that you're in front of. At least the audience that I've seen you in front of. You know, whether you've been there or you're not, you can connect. So when you're going to it, like maybe a new spot that you haven't been, like, what's some of your tips for yourself to connect with that audience? Because a lot of it is reading the room. Does your theater background maybe help you with that?
Oh yeah, it's always just like adapting to your environment. But I've also learned, like, if you don't feel silly or goofy doing something, then you're doing it wrong. It was like a quick little thing I did in like theater school, sort of like that. It was like, I want you to be angry. Show me your angry face. I'm like, and I'm like, I'm not showing enough mannerisms on my face. And my instructor was like, you're already doing it wrong. Like, do you not feel stupid? I'm like, no, not really, because I'm not really committed to it. You need to feel stupid. You want to like feel like this is embarrassing. That's how you know you're doing it right. Because if you're not, then we can tell you're not invested. And then another thing is, whenever I go to like any new promotion I've never heard of, or like it's my first time there and I know nobody except maybe the booker, one thing I always tell myself is, it only takes me one night to make new friends. And it honestly does. Because at the end of the night, I'm laughing with everybody. Best case, we might go out to get something to eat. And it's something that like, it definitely overcame that in the beginning of my career, even now. And I'm more like excited to do it now because I'm excited to meet new people. And like even this Saturday, I go to Slam Portal. I know the booker. That's it. But I'm excited to go because like I get to meet new people. I get to showcase this character as the lifeguard. And not only that, this is where I'm allowed to just go out there, try something. If it doesn't work, who's gonna hurt, you know? And if it does work, keep going.
Yeah.
And I like experimenting with that. I like going out there with the crowd and like, hey, let's start a wave or something. Do something crazy. And we will. Oh, we sure will. It's super fun every time. But I always have to tell myself, I got to get out of my head. And most of the times, I'm never even in my head. I'm never in my head enough to think and really like, man, I look kind of like a dork. I'm more like, I'm embracing it because like that's what these people want. Why not?
It's a part of the experience. It's getting out there and doing it, man. Like, I tell people all the time, if you're afraid to fail, then you'll never succeed. Period. And you have to take chances. You have to go out there, especially on the independent scene. There's nobody out there directing you and saying, "Oh, do this, do this, do this." Professional wrestling should be the biggest team sport ever. But sometimes you do run into individuals who are looking for themselves. But you have to be able to draw and connect, and you have to be able to make this thing happen in the ring and continue to push and not let anything stop you. And it all boils down to like dedication to the craft, and that takes me back to your 2.5 hour trips to Flatbacks, and then back, and then evolving and turning this thing into something that it's a package deal. Like there were a handful, again, I say a handful of you that I went and I spoke to. Like I literally, you were one of them. I walked up to you and was like, I don't want to be a creep, but it's who I am. This is what I rep. This is who I'm with. I do want to sit down with you and talk with you if you have time. But just so you know that you did. If your job's to go out there and draw somebody, you succeeded. It was a new experience for me. and one that I can't wait to see again, because like if I get finding out you're in Gainesville, folks, I'm a little peel behind the curtain. There's not a whole lot of professional wrestling in Gainesville at all. There's not. So I see this advertisement come across, or it may have been something that you had posted, or I don't know how it had to have been from you because it came across my feed, or somebody associated with you tagged you, and I don't know. I see professional wrestling coming to Gainesville in October, and I'm like, oh, holy grail. I'm flipping through. What do I see? Izzy Vaden's defending the championship on top, and I went, rocking a championship. Let's talk about the Fed for a minute. Let's talk about these upcoming dates here before we get into what's to come in the future, if you will. So chat me up. Wrestling in Gainesville, I'm already stoked. I'm buying a ticket.
I'm excited for that one because now I can finally have my friends come. That's not like 2.5 hour drives for them. They can be like, oh, it's like down the street. And I'm like, yes, just go. But for that, I've held their championship since March last year because just if you have to peel back the curtain, which I don't want to expose the business unless you want me to, but I may not. But I won the championship in a fatal 4-way, and I've been defending it all one time. And then we've taken a hiatus. Florida Wrestling Empire took a bit of a hiatus, just like a somewhat break, just to get it back on its feet. And now that we're back, we got like the Good Brothers coming in. We got Drake. We got not D Drake. Just I forgot his last name right now. God bless me. There's a bunch of other people. Bison Clutch is going to be there. It's going to be a pretty good show. At least we're trying. We're trying. I know for my match, October 4th, it's Fans Bring the Weapons Street Fight. In a way, I'm excited. And I'm also scared. Because, like, I want people to bring weapons. It's not something that I want to use against me. You feel me? Is that selfish? Listen. Yes. But, like, I just don't want to get hurt that bad. But, like, I'll bite it. I don't care.
When you see somebody with a barbed wire wrapped fun noodle, you know it's me. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to wrap it in barbed wire. I'm not going to wrap it in barbed wire. Don't anybody get hurt. But I think that's where people should listen. If you're out there and you're in the Gainesville area and you hear like this is exactly where you cater into the lifeguard gimmick. You need to bring in some fun noodles, bring in some fucking floaties, like bring in diving sticks. You can fling diving sticks at them if you're coming in as a lifeguard, dude. I'm telling you, like if the guys get creative,
it's so crazy.
Please tell me this is as a lifeguard. Are you coming in as a lifeguard for this? Please tell me you are. Because I will go and buy fucking diving sticks and bring them. I'm not kidding.
I'm not. I won't be the lifeguard by that.
Okay.
All right. It's because I've been working on a character that's sort of more Florida based. I'm calling it Blazing Hot Blackjack. Basically, it's Florida man, country kind of gimmick. Because
Gainesville,
where I'm practically living, it's sort of like a farm around here. It's you see trucker hats and just trucks, and someone got a gun in their backseat, and I'm just like, yeah, I've been here for way too long, and it's kind of rubbed up on me. So like, I might as well embrace this. There's a sort of a joke I've had with Poppy D, because I kept saying this whenever I had to explain his character, that I live in the sticks. So he'll just come up to me, "You live in the sticks, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I live in the sticks." Because there's just trees everywhere you look, but now they're trying to like make it more like a city, and I don't like it. But
are they?
I can't tell. Wanted to embrace more of the Florida kind of gimmick of like, yeah, I'll wrestle a gator, and like honestly, I would, because like they're nothing. I see them almost all the time at this point. It's like to the point I don't care. And then other people will see it, and I'm just like, oh, it's just Jeffrey type. Like I don't.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I'm like, I'm ready for this. I want to start this new gimmick up, and I got to do it at Mero Pro last weekend, and I got a lot of good reviews. Some people were like, "Yeah, I used to seeing you as a lifeguard, but like, this is good. This is good." And I'm like, "Don't stop, thanks, guys." But yeah, I want to keep it geeking up. I'm still like working on like, okay, what could I do different in the ring? Obviously, I'm going to be more myself. I'm going to be more that goofy, but like, how can I portray Blackjack somewhat different than the rest? Still working on that. I've been working on this for like a good few months now, and it's, you know, one thing I like about indie wrestling, you can just do anything. So I'm not against it. Now, obviously, I can still be the lifeguard in other promotions, like Pro Wrestling Action wants me to be that. Slam Portal, they like me there too. And I also like give them that choice, like, would you prefer the lifeguard or Blackjack? And I'll also tell them, like, I'm really starting as Blackjack, but if you want something more silly, you can have this as well. Like, I want to give them a 2-for-1 special. And I have so much fun as a lifeguard. Don't get me wrong. Another thing is, what I'm really changing about the lifeguard is, believe it or not, it doesn't get that many bookings that you think. I've gotten a good amount of, like, text backs where they say, this gimmick, it's not really for us. And I'm like, just, okay. Then I can always give them something else that they maybe want. Who knows? But I also like the fact that, like, I like to be taken more seriously as well. Whenever you hear lifeguard, I usually portray it as seriously. Booking wise, it's not always like that. So if I can somewhat get it on a different level, but I also like that I want to just be more me rather than a gimmick. I love the gimmick, but I also like to be just more me. And you see that more in wrestling nowadays anyway. I remember Dante Casanova was originally, his gear was based on Dragon Ball Z because he loves Vegeta. And it was, I want to say it was centered around that. And now he's like the Jaguar because he's like embraced his heritage, I believe. That's more of his style. I know he grew into that, but I also know that was like something he just like, I don't know if this is working, so I'm gonna go with this one instead. And look at him now. Like he's like the NWA Exodus champion. Bro is killing it. Love him for that. But like with that different change of your gimmick, it can benefit. And I will always give the praise and the credit that the lifeguard got me here. But this is where Blackjack can come in. And I want to hopefully people will like this and can also accept this, because this will start kicking in the beginning of October. But it's also like seamlessly trying to merge its way into different promotions. And hopefully we'll see more of this. See more of me as me coming forward with other places. I'm excited for it, honestly.
Well, I think evolving the character, evolving you really in the game is a piece of it, right? You can't stay stagnant. But I also like what you just said a few minutes ago, that maybe this character isn't for you, but this one may be. It kind of I like that mentality of it, that this is kind of what I want to do, but I also do have this. This is another persona of mine that you might be interested in. It kind of gives you two options here. You got A or B versus just this is the option that I have. I kind of like that perspective on it, and I think that that's smart. I think that it's, especially in Florida, it may not be for everybody, but when it is for somebody, hey man, rates went up. just saying. That's an attraction. That's an attraction gimmick, brother. But I get it. But I think it's smart. I think it's a good way to market yourself. As far as character wise and what you're able to offer anybody who wants to reach out and book you and reach out and see what they can do with you. I think that's kind of interesting in its own right. But we did steer away from the shows on October the 4th and what's coming up. So my ADHD is going to take us back around because I don't want to skip out on that.
Because I definitely forgot.
But I do want to talk a little bit about where the show's going to be at because, again, Gainesville is a small market, but I'm excited because it's obviously my backyard, and I may or may not have investors with me when we come to the show, and to see further what we're looking at as we get deeper into our conversation. So, who else can I expect to see outside of you? Obviously, hoping nobody brings anything too crazy or off the wall. I am a little bummed that I can't bring diving sticks. I may bring them anyway.
I'd say you should bring it anyway, just for like the gets and shiggles. Just like, oh yeah, I used to be the lifeguard.
I may bring one. You just have to take them. They're yours.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. I've also thought about like getting my floaty and just putting thumbtacks on it and just see how that goes.
Dude, yes. Super glue on the outside. Yes. We saw.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my God, man! Now you got my mind going. I'm sorry. We're gonna get there. I promise. Dude, it reminds me of a beach ball death match. Yes, you heard me correctly. That we saw that was over in the UK. And when I tell you that Chuck Mambo delivered a freaking classic, he wrestled barefooted, obviously, because he does. They used an inflatable raft as a table. There was beach balls with thumbtacks glued on the outside of it, so throwing beach balls at each other. It's fantastic. It was such a great. I laughed so hard, but even the spots that they did that were, there, like Mamba took not an atomic drop, but lifted up and feet into the thumbtacks, feet first. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, it was rough.
Because I did the same thing at Disruptor, but it wasn't thumbtacks; it was Legos.
Oh fuck!
That is like
way
worse.
Oh brother, dude, not the Lego spot. Oh my God.
Oh man.
All right, let's.
It's fine. It builds character. It's okay.
Well, you can say you check that off the bucket list. I've done
I can.
October 4th. All right, we're back. October 4th.
We're back, baby. So what I've seen is we got Jason Dugan, Alex Breeze, Bison Clutch, and Drake Xavier, and my opponent Jason Raditz. And then I also see the Good Brothers are going to be there. Ooh, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I'm telling you, now I'm excited for the show. This is going to be like one of my favorite shows. I can already tell. What is crazy now, it just happened to be a coincidence that NXT wants to run in Gainesville that day. And there just happens to be a UF Texas game going on the same day. So now I'm just like, this is going to be the most eventful day.
I got counter-programmed by NXT.
We're going to try to get all of Gainesville to come on. Dude. So hopefully we can get half of Gainesville to come over because I want that. I want that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, like, and this is just me, my perspective. Like, I come into your show over, not knocking NXT at all, but our platform's independence. Our platform's everything that's going on the independent scene, and being able to see new independent talent that we have not seen before. I have not seen before because, again, much like a situation that happens with you, I see you and I see you standing out. I see the crowd rallying behind you. I see what you're doing, and I can respect that. And I guarantee you there will be at least a handful from this show that will resonate and stand out to me and make me go, hey, my name is Chris. I run this channel. You probably don't know who I am, but you will, and I will be reaching out to you. I hope to talk to you at some point in time. Mm-hmm. Short, sweet, to the point, move on, because you guys got things to do. And you said there was 2 in Gainesville in October. Am I right? Is there another date?
Yes. October 26th. It's going to be Fest Wrestling at a Vivid Music Hall.
Okay. Which is downtown Gainesville, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this is all 15 minutes from my front door. I'm sold on both of them. Is this 2 companies? 2 different companies?
Fest Wrestling, yeah, it's a different one, yeah.
Okay, all right. See, I've not heard of Fest Wrestling. My ears go up when I hear new companies because I watch all kinds and look for new stuff. So, what can you tell me about Fest?
They only run in Gainesville. I'm surprised you haven't heard of them.
No,
this is crazy.
I haven't. So there is wrestling in Gainesville. Especially,
I don't know how you never. To be fair, it take me a good minute to get on their show. So, God bless. They're mostly for like rock concerts, and then they got just wrestling with it. Very fun. It's like it's one thing I will say, loud, very very loud. If you can't tell by the music that's always playing, like there's a bunch of rock concerts going on. You can even see it from like the people that come in. They dress to impress apparently, and then here I come, dressed like a bum sometimes. I'm like, I feel out of place. So hopefully I can sort of match their energy, and I plan on it because I'm in Gainesville, dang it. So I got to come out to Tom Petty, and hopefully like these people will love me just from that. That'd be great. And then they can say he's from Gainesville, Florida, by the way.
What Petty track are we using?
Won't Back Down.
Love it. You're baby facing it up. That's the biggest. That's a great track, and we're definitely. Yeah. I'm gonna look into that because I definitely want to check them out. I want to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't know that there was wrestling in my backyard. I had no idea. I haven't seen any kind of advertisements. I haven't seen anything cross my radar. And you know, even with a lot of the talent that we've spoken to from Florida specifically, like nobody's ever said anything about Gainesville. That's why I thought it was shocking
because they won't come around here.
I thought it was shocking that you're probably sitting 20 minutes from my front door right now. Probably.
Somewhat, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
If you're in Newberry, I know exactly that area. So like,
tell me about it. You're just going west. So like, you're on Newberry Road. You're already gonna be there. Like,
yeah, that's wild. I think that's hearing new companies is always something that always the radar goes off. 2025 is kind of been a wild ride for professional wrestling, and everybody's year's different. They've had their own ups and downs. What are some of your highlights thus far 2025? And with obviously the end of the year's right around the corner, how are you looking to end it?
That's a good highlights. I had a King of the Summer Camp match with Josh Powers at Disruptor. And this is when I got to land on the Legos feet first. But like we did a bunch of just mostly just stupid stuff. We had a stop sign in there for no reason, steel chairs, garbage cans. It was great. Honestly, it was a fun match if I didn't get like a bunch of stupid scars all over me. But I had a good time. And I'd say that was one of my favorite ones because I got to like, this is where we could just do anything. You don't get disqualified, but I'm having more fun when I'm like, there's no restrictions. It was a great time, honestly. And just being in Georgia, it was a blast. And then I had like other really good matches with some of like people like I've known for years. Like I had a match with Richard Adonis. I like that one. Blake Banks, like that one as well. There may be others I can't name off the top of my head, but I had good matches this year that I was just like not only looking forward to, but when I like rewatch them, I'm proud of it. And I'm not a person that likes to rewatch my stuff because whenever I do, I always critique myself. And I think I heard AJ Styles say he does the same thing. But every now and then, if I do rewatch it, there's like certain ones I will. And it's the ones that I actually like. And then don't get me wrong, I like all my matches, but then there are ones that like I'm super proud of it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that one. Because if I'm not gonna watch it, and if I'm not gonna like use it to post it or anything, probably just gonna critique myself, and I hate doing that. But that's one of my favorite highlights was both that Disruptor match and just like the matches I've had with good friends I've made and just the ones that I'm proud of. How I'm wanting to end this year is to end it with Blackjack. Because as soon as October comes, I'm trying to full send it. I'm trying to get that character in motion, push it out as many places as I can. And I want to take that like to the next level. I got to use the Lifeguard as leverage, and nothing wrong with that. If it was my character that I created, why not? But I want to take that into, okay, this is not just replacing the Lifeguard. this is just who I am as a wrestler and as a person. I am a goofy person. I am a very loud, obnoxious kid. I'm also just from Florida. So, like, take with that as you will, but that's... I guess it just comes with the package. But, like, yeah, I want people to, like, understand, like, I'm a wrestler. I will entertain you, but I'm also going to be... I'm probably going to annoy the crap out of y'all, and I don't care. I want that.
Well, going back to some things that you just said, man, I can tell you this: we are our worst critics when it comes to our own material and what we're doing and what we're not doing, and watching stuff back and not watching stuff back. Like, I feel the same way. As a matter of fact, these Beyond the Bells, are the only shows that I watch back that we do live. Because I, got to edit them. I got to find the what I feel like are like the top moments that I can put out there that make you guys, look like fucking the rock stars that you are. Gives you hopefully gets you some of the attention that you deserve to be having. And even when I was in the ring, I was the same way. I couldn't watch anything back that I did because I would over criticize myself. Oh, you didn't do this, or you over rotated here, or missed that one. Just this. It can be. It can eat away at you, but when you're out there and you're having fun, and that's the biggest thing to remember is like you're having fun, you're having a good time, and it turns into this love fest, and I'm very interested to see how the new character transitions and plays out, because I'm gonna keep it real. I know you as a lifeguard. But I cannot wait to see what this looks like here in a couple weeks. I think that kind of ups the ante a little bit, because
no pressure, right?
No, for me, it's like I don't know what I'm about to see. So, like, for me, it's like it makes it a little bit more exciting because I don't come in with expectations. I don't, even with stuff that we watch, and when we're watching new shows from new companies, we don't have expectations. I want to just see, and I want to feel it, and I want to, because I know if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that it can't. But also, like, it's everything's a work in progress. Everything that we do, especially in professional wrestling, because you just some of the things you were touching on earlier. This is the opportune moment to go and try anything, because you never know what's going to hit, when it's going to hit, how it's going to hit, and how it can change trajectories of what you have going on. And you're kind of all over Florida. I've seen you with WWN. I've seen you with Local Pro. What you're obviously coming through with Fest, and what's the other company that's coming through on the 4th? What's her name again?
World Wrestling Empire. So it's FWE, yeah.
Okay, World Wrestling Empire.
There's 2 FWEs around here. I didn't know that, but
maybe that counter programming by NXT is going to throw some people off when they look up WWE NXT tickets. I'm just saying. Maybe this may go in our favor big time here. Where else can our audience find you? What other companies are you out there doing work with, and upcoming events? Anything that's out there that you want to talk to us about with some of these other companies? Go right ahead.
Whole list, but like I go to Kentucky actually every now and then. This is a promotion called Triple Crown Wrestling. I'm their 2-time heavyweight champion. Love their stuff. I've been with them for 4 years, around since I've started, and it was originally from Tennessee. Then they just went back home to Kentucky. Those are talk about long drives, but I just like, because they've always been good people to me, and I always liked making a name, traveling around. I love doing that kind of stuff. I go to Disruptor every now and then. They should be coming back soon. I'll be at NRG on November. Excited. Yeah, that's kind of it. As much as I'm in Florida, I'm like everywhere and nowhere.
Well, I mean, it kind of, sort of, it can be that way sometimes, but there's other dates that can be filled. Is where we're going with that. And as we talked before we came on the air, I think it's be great transition point to kind of talk about this real quick. See if you're interested, because we're obviously in the live event business. We're doing some live events. We're going to be doing some different things over the next, we got 6 shows that we're looking at. And I had a great gentleman on Friday night from up north, Wrestle Pro, Garden State champion. Jay Haru is his name. He's a fantastic guy. Does a lot of work with Limitless Wrestling and some major stuff up north. Actually, he's wrestling tonight on the same card as Killer Cross and Richard Holiday.
Really?
Yes, he is defending his championship on that show.
Oh snap! Okay.
Long story short, dude said, "Man, I'd love to come to Orlando on the 22nd of November." That the downside of that is I don't have an opponent. I didn't. So if you're available and are willing to make a trip to Castleberry, Florida on the 22nd, we'd love to have you on board and maybe get you in the ring with Jay Haru. What are you thinking about that?
So you see that sign right there?
Yeah.
What's that sign say?
Sign Izzy Vaden.
Yeah, I think we should take note. I think we should do that. I think we should sign Izzy Vaden, and I just check my schedule. I think I'm free that day, so I think I'd like to give him a run for his
we're gonna make that happen. We'll make that happen. Haru is a guy that I didn't, I knew that we were going to connect and we were going to click. And actually, one of our investors may or may not have been watching that show, and sent me a text while I was on the air and said, I want him for the 22nd. So, and he brought it up on the show, like literally. It was so weird. It was like they were in on it together. I got a text. I'm looking at it. And then he brings up the show on the 22nd and says that he'd be more than happy to, if we had a spot, blah, blah, blah. And so he's talking, and then my phone's going off again because I know they're watching, and saying, hey, make this happen. Okay, I will make this happen. That's not a problem. Had a conversation.
Hi, Haru. Hello. Hi. Next opponent.
Well, I'll pull the curtain back a little bit. They were with me the night that we went to the local pro show. And when that was the show that I sat back and really looked at this and thought about, could I do this? Could we do a live event? I looked at what I paid to come into the door, and I looked at what they paid to come into the door. And I brought 7 people. As a group, 7 of us came. I looked at what I was seeing, in the ring with the work. I was looking at how it was being filmed. I was looking at the heads. I was counting at the heads. I was doing mental calculations, and and I don't know why. I can't tell you why I was doing it. I have no fucking clue. But I felt like this needed to happen. And I started doing math. So by intermission, I'm like, man, this is possible. This is possible. It's gonna cost some money, but it's possible. Towards the end of the show, main event's in the ring. Talked to one of the guys. I said, hey man, what did you pay to come in the front doors here? He told me. Double what I paid, and I bought 2 tickets. So you can do that math. And I went, okay, do you feel like you got your money's worth? And he looked at me, and he looked at it at his wife, who was sitting where she had been sitting for 2 hours and didn't move, and said to me, absolutely. Have you seen my wife? She hasn't moved since she sat down. Which means that she was invested in every minute of this show that was going on in front of her. From the point that it started to the point that it ended, she did not move. And that is a testament to all of you guys and what you were doing, because that was the first time that they had seen any live pro wrestling whatsoever. So take that And if anyone ever questions, and this is to everybody who was on that show, and ever questions on, do we connect with people? You do, because this was a family that, and two of the other guys that came with us had been to live pro wrestling, but never local pro wrestling. And everybody that was on the show was first time watches for them, and they were equally as invested. It was it was kind of cool to sit back and see, and as was the crowd that was there, and just from a guy who did this, who was there at one point in time, and has now settled into this side of the equation. You guys are doing something, and it deserves to be seen, and that's what our live events are for, is to showcase you guys, and that's the ultimate win. And to have you a part of it, I'm gonna be excited. You'll have to send me some new fucking promo shots, man, because if the Lifeguard's gone, because this is November, and again, it's a standalone kind of thing. We do have a couple of shows that we're gonna run, and several of them are gonna be in Orlando. A couple of them are gonna be in Southern California. This is real, and this is happening. And now to put you and Jay Haru out there and let you guys do your thing, I think is going to be fun. And I know that you'll, whether it's lifeguard or no lifeguard, you're going to do you, and you're going to be successful. It's going to happen. I can't wait to introduce this new character to our audience, as well as see it progress moving forward. I say all that to say this. With wrestling, I'm going to start winding things down and start getting, because I'm excited for the show. And now that I know that that this is going to happen, and I can put somebody from up north in the ring with somebody here locally, and that's probably going to be our showcase match for the show. CCP Podcasting Showcase Match. Here we go. Different little odds and ends. Wrestling's on fire everywhere, from a guy who sees it from every continent, and has been fortunate enough to make a lot of really good friends along the way, companies, talents, the whole nine. I want to know from these are my serious questions, like my business questions, if you will. There's a lot of different companies that are out there here in the States, domestically here, domestically and foreignly, internationally. Where's some places that you want to work? Where's some places that, are on your eye, on your radar, that you want to, try and get your foot in the door on?
Man, you'd think like there's so many different places, but then when you're like asked that question, you're just like, I know for one, Firestar Pro Wrestling. I've had my eye on them for quite a while. They've had 3 people from there get signed to the WWE. I want to go there because I love North Carolina wrestling. I've done it before, all 1 times, and it was like super fun. People go there not only just to see the wrestling, they go there for fun. Like, they love it, and I'm just like, this is incredible. Like, I want to see more of this. I want to do definitely more with North Carolina wrestling, but Firestar Pro Wrestling has always been on my radar. And I just did a seminar there, so hopefully this can be like that foot in the door for that. Wrestling Open, seen a lot of good stuff up there. I even went, when I lived in Maine 2 years ago for like 6 months, I went to Limitless Wrestling Show. It was for their, it was like the Vacation Land Cup tournament thing. Loved it. Dude, it was super fun.
Anthony
super
Green,
loud.
Baby.
Loved it. Loved every second of it. And it was one of those like, man, this is one of those wrestling shows that if I'm on this, I could definitely progress with my career. And I've always tried to like look at it that way. I'm obviously trying to progress, but there are those shows that are just like, this is it. This is like,
yes,
I could definitely make a name for myself on this kind of circuit. There's that Wrestling Open, like I said, because they're always on like IWTV. I just went to a show in Georgia. I cannot remember it right now, but I know there's another promotion, Action Wrestling, also in Georgia. Mm-hmm. They've always had good stuff, and now I think I just remembered it. Southern Honor Wrestling. I went to their last one. It was for like their biggest rumble they had, and it was phenomenal. I'm talking both production, how they like did everything in the ring. It all looked great. They had Jay Lethal on the show. They had Anthony Ogogo. They had Billy Gunn. They had Sunny Days. It was like a great time. Like, but not only that, this is one of those promotions where you're like, I was on this. I could really further my career. I could really make a name for myself. People could see me, and in a way they can remember. Because whenever I did a show, people always remembered me as the lifeguard. And then I'm in the ring, go lifeguard. Whenever they see me out of the ring, it's the lifeguard. And that always meant a lot, that they remembered me, that they can see me and they'll just remember me. But I also want to take it from just outside of that building. I want it to be where if I'm on these shows, people will see me and they'll be like, it's Blackjack type, or it's the lifeguard, however I am at the time. But I also want to further my career in those places, because I see how the wrestlers perform. They perform at such a great level that I would like to perform with them as well. I believe I perform at a pretty good level. I don't want to put myself on a pedestal, because at the end of the day, we still got stuff to work on. And I still got stuff to work on myself. But if I made it to these promotions I believe are really good, then I'll know, I guess I'm pretty good too. And I'm sure there's plenty others in like the Northwest or the Southeast. Who knows? And like, I'm probably missing a few, but those are off the top of my head. One of my favorite ones I want to really get into, that just, yeah, I want to further my career. I believe it can really start with this as well. And that's why I also like doing WWE Win, because it's weekly free shows in Tampa, or my fault, Clearwater. And it was nice to just showcase my stuff. It was live, got good like viewers, and I could always post the stuff after, and it was a great time. Oh, for sure. But like, I also know something I've taught myself again. I hate being comfortable. I have to be uncomfortable. If you're comfortable in a position, you're not progressing. So that's why I go out to new promotions that I know no one. Because that's how I know, okay, I'm uncomfortable, but at the end, I'll know everyone. And I'll get to get comfortable. And then eventually, this is my home now. But then I can also progress it. I'll go somewhere else. I'm pretty uncomfortable here, but I got to grow. I got to become uncomfortable to become comfortable. And then this can also be my home. I don't like having just one wrestling home. That's why I love Kentucky. It's one of my wrestling homes. Because I also like that Georgia can be. I like that Louisiana can be. Alabama, not just Kentucky, Tennessee, both the Carolinas, and soon Texas. And I want to push that to where every wrestling place can be like home to me, where I want to further this. And then hopefully this can get me a contract wherever it can take me, because obviously I want to do this as a career, but it will have to start somewhere. It has to start where I make unknown places my home.
I'm hearing you, and I'm just smiling, and I'm gonna tell you why. You talk about the Carolinas, talk about wanting to, maybe get a foot in the door up there. A part of our show on the 22nd, and I booked this specifically and strategically. Alex Bryant is a good friend of our channel and is going to come down, and he's obviously connected to the Carolina scene. And then you mentioned Texas, and I got this guy, Caius. He owns a Fed out there. I'm bringing him out here, or he's coming out here on his own. He's coming out on his own accord. But it's networking. It's creating and introducing you to people that you can try and build with, and you can try and get out there. Jay Haru, I didn't know that he was wanting to come down to Florida for a wrestling show, and he happened on the air. It's here we are. It's a way for you guys to connect with people that you may not connect with, and maybe you don't go out and work with Caius and at Heathens Entertainment, but maybe he turns you on to another company out there that you do go and work with. This is the name of the fucking game, and this is why we're here, because I'm a firm believer that if you guys get out there and get what you want, everything that I may get out of it is going to come to me naturally. We're not here for that. We want to put on the platform so you guys can network, so you guys can get out there and do some things. And by the way, on the 31st, the Pump Line is a team out in Southern California. Very good friends of ours are coming out. Again, another connection for you guys to network and get at least your name and your face out there with people who can connect you with people that you may be able to do some business with. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. And that's what our passion is. And that's why we're here. And I get excited when I hear someone say, this is somewhere I want to go. This is somewhere I want to go. And I know that I've got an opportunity to at least put you in touch with somebody who can help make that happen. That's the great thing about this business. And that's why I say wrestling can bring people together if you allow it to. So I get like a giddy and a kid in a candy store when I'm hearing this, because I'm about to put you in a room with people who might be able to help you out with some of this stuff. And I think that's so cool. I think that's so interesting and just different to me. And it's I don't know. I'm sorry. I need a moment. Go ahead. Take it. you got me. I need a moment. I got excited.
I like how it makes people feel giddy. I like that excitement because wrestling makes me so happy and excited. I like doing it, but I also like just watching it, the spectacle of it all, the thrill, how it makes me feel, how I make people feel entertained, how I make them feel emotions. I love it all, and I like how it makes me feel as well. Wrestling can bring people together. It like not even just like the entertainment aside, even the people in the back. We are all like brothers and sisters. In a way, we can somewhat be selfish because you want your career to succeed as well. But we're also one of those that we all want to succeed. We all want to be happy. We all want to go home at the end of the day happy and healthy and safe. We all want to perform and tell these people a story. We're like any other veteran. I call it like older people, older wrestlers, veterans, because they've been in this game longer than me. But they'll even tell me like, hey, I'm trying to at this point, I usually do this for my kids, but I want them to feel this. I want to tell a certain story, and hopefully you can work with me. And I'm like, absolutely. However you want me to do it, I'll do it. I want to help you with how your story wants to go. And I want that to resonate, and I want people to feel it. And that's what I like with the stories in wrestling, because it feels so familiar that you can feel it. And I like how people in the back, how we all want to work together and how we all want to be a part of something. That makes me so happy. There are some wrestlers that don't want to in a way, they want to just be I want all the belts. You don't really see that a lot, God bless, because I want to say that sort of net mentality is gone. But it's all really now, it's just been, let's do this. Let's give these people their money's worth. Let's go. And let's also succeed well. Let's perform. Let's look good. Hopefully this will lead to more money, and hopefully this will lead to more bookings. Hopefully we'll get your name out there. But we got to entertain these people so we can lead to more people. So we can lead to more people. And it makes me so happy. It makes me the most happy. Dang.
Well, let's talk about this for just a moment. So in a world where, again, I dig the enthusiasm, as you just saw, I just marked out and geeked out because I think that it's so wild that just being able to do this and connect with different people and connect with everybody differently, right? Everybody that comes through, but their connection's there. And to see where this thing could go and where I think it's going to go in the next 12 months is very exciting, at least for the platform. Mm-hmm. But for you, wrestling's on fire, man, and there's a lot of really good talent out there. If you've got your eyes on anybody that, if you could get in the ring with, who would that be? It could be on the indie scene, or it could be, in the feds that are out there. But your perspective, who are some folks that you would love the opportunity to hook up with?
Plenty, but mostly they're sort of signed. Javon Evans, I've seen him before. I've met him. I want to say around the time he did just get signed, but I had known of him for years. He is always one of those guys he's athletic, and I want to see how he works in the ring because I want to work with that. And now that I see him on NXT, and I'm just oh, this dude's he's the best. He's obviously the best. Brother always leaves me in some way, shape, or form. I'm just in awe of not only his athleticism, on how he can just portray this character, and how I feel so invested. I'm God, this guy's good. There's Jackson Drake. I've worked with him 4 years ago at School of Morton. It was like a fatal 4-way, and it was not much, but he was great at the time. He's even greater now, and I've always been more impressed by him. There's a guy I've worked here in Florida named Daniel Lacey. I've worked him before, and for some reason there is no footage, so no one's gonna believe me. But me and him are both like really good buddies, and we've worked each other for like 3 minutes up till like probably 10. I want to go the distance with him. I want to do like I want to take these people on like a thrill ride with Daniel. Daniel's one of those, because he's a big dude. He's one of those wrestlers that you'll like see like, okay, he's probably like every other wrestler. You'll see him in the ring, you'd be like, oh, that guy's good. Oh, he's good. And I'm like, oh, he's good. You can't tell from his size. You'll tell when in the ring. Brother's like a beast. I want to work better together. If you haven't heard of them, It's Ori Gold and Hadar Howitz. They're both really good guys. Oh man, there's a reason Gabe Sapolsky put them on blast on Twitter that you should watch these guys. They're one of my favorite tag teams, if not my favorite tag team, because they show that character of, hey, that's my friend, don't touch my friend type. And not only that, their ring work is just, oh my gosh, I gotta like take notes. Those are just like, again, just from the top of my head, there's plenty more. But I also think just like the guys in my age range, those are definitely like the good few that I really want to do more stuff with. And I want to work them more rather than just seeing them backstage and we all just talk about stupid stuff. I want to work them in the ring. I've worked them before. I want to do it again and more.
Okay. All right. I like to hear that because there's a couple of names that I'm not familiar with, but I will get very familiar with. And there are some names on there that your names that you gave me that I am familiar with. And I think I would love to see some of that. And it's a beautiful thing about where we're going as a channel. Now that I know you're like 25 minutes away, just be like, hey, man.
I know.
What are you doing on this date here in a couple of months, man? I could definitely use you. I'm looking forward to seeing all this stuff play out. Now, one of the other questions that I always like to ask people specifically, and this is one, it is 100% clippable. In a world of independent wrestling where we as a channel look at hours and hours and hours all over the world on a weekly basis, there's so many tremendous pieces of talent out there that we do see. And that is just a handful of those that we do not. So from your perspective, who are some people out there on the scene, whether they're here in Florida, whether they're, it could be over in Kentucky, it could be wherever you've done work, or people that you're watching yourself. Who are some people that we should be watching according to Izzy Vaden?
Cameron J. Walker in Arizona, one of my good buddies. He first started in Florida, I want to say, and then he moved all the way back to Arizona. He has been killing it. His gimmick now is he's a putter, as in like just golf. Brother has always been killing it. He takes this like as serious as it gets, not only just with the in-ring work, but he's putting in the work to like look that part and become the part. I am super proud of him, and I got to see him recently, or like a few months ago. Cameron J. Walker / putter. Love him. Again, Daniel Lacey, one of those grown guys, because his wrestling name is he's a grown ass man. Daniel Lacey. I tell you, nothing grown about him. No, I'm playing. No. Mm-hmm. He's always been good. He's always been one of those, like, it's definitely not just a hidden gem. That is like a diamond in the rough. And I wish more people would recognize that. He's always been good. Terry Kidd, one of my favorites, and the more I see it, the more I'm like, man, dang, smooth operator over here. God, I love this guy. And I've always just been in awe, because I first saw him 4 years ago when I started, and I thought what is he doing on this scene? Like, he should be on TV. Mm-hmm. And I see it now, and I'm like, dang, this guy's way too good for like all this. He should really be on TV right now. And I still think that, because I saw him like last night, and I'm like, yeah, this guy needs a contract. This guy needs a contract right now. Same for Better Together. Man, I tell you, they could take over the world if they wanted to. I love them to death. Blake Banks as well. Always one of those guys that are just like, he puts in the work. He is not only looking the part, he is the trust fund kid. If you can't tell by his punchable face, you can tell by all the stupid Gucci and Louis Vuitton he's got all over him. Brother's got it. And I gotta do one more just cause. I'd say, actually, I'm gonna do two more. Casey Vi,
Yes.
Dang right.
Yes.
I tell you, it is crazy how that has gotten so over, and I love it. Like he has a ECW shirt.
Yep, I have it.
I need that. I need to get it soon.
I have it.
I've worked him before, but I want to work this character because, like, man, I want to do stuff with that. And Big Boy Patty, I just love Cowboys. I like his gimmick, and now that he's like, his gear also looks really cool to me, and I'm like, man, he's like, if more people were to give like their eyes and their money, he could steal the show, and he has. Like, I also like his work, and he's also putting in the work at House of Champions. Brother is killing it. So yeah, Big Boy Patty, Casey Vi, Better Together, Daniel Lacey, Blake Banks, and I probably said some more that I probably forgot. But like, yeah, those are one of my favorite feuds that I want everyone else to always also check out.
Fun fact: Casey Vi, Chapter 1 Genesis. Big Boy Patty, Chapter 1 Genesis.
It's a long game.
Yeah, no. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. You've mentioned some names that I'm very familiar with, and some names that I am not familiar with. Those names that I'm not familiar with, I always make our sheets. We have show sheets, really. Like, this is just one of our shows. We do spotlight shows where we're looking at 2 hours of matches from one person. We have our full watch along show, or watch parties that are kind of sporadic, where we're watching full shows. Different things that have worked over the last year or two, and find ways to put them out there in front of audiences, our audience specifically, us seeing stuff sight unseen, first time watches. The job. Can you draw us in? And do you do it? If you succeed, you succeed. But the best way of doing that is by watching stuff with no preconceived notion on what I'm going to see. Let them draw me in. That's what we do. And there's usually a way that they can. And that's the beautiful thing about how our platform continues to grow. Because when I do a show, I'll circle around. Izzy Vaden is the one who turns you on to us, and thank him, because without him coming on our show and talking to us and having this opportunity, we wouldn't know. It happens more often than not, man. And that's a beautiful thing. Because it's just something that continues. It helps us continue to grow, and it's this is a wild world that we live in right now, and this is an escape not only for you guys who get in the ring and entertain us. It's an escape for the fans, and it's an escape for those who tune into our shows. This is their way out, and it's the best way to pay homage is to do what UK Paul has said in chat, which is hashtag sign Izzy Vaden. Is there
please
is there anything that you want to plug on the way out? Anything you want to talk about? Anything that you want to get out there and get over, man? Now is the time. The floor is yours by all means.
Everyone should go to Buc-ee's. That's like the destination place to go, obviously. I try to make it a habit to go to Buc-ee's anytime I go on a road trip for wrestling. And Domino's. Again, I'm not being sponsored, so like this is like free promotions. My sort of like tradition for like long trips, I'll get a medium-sized cheese pizza from Domino's and buffalo boneless wings, and I will eat it while driving. Which y'all should probably not be doing that. That might be illegal. I don't know, but yeah, no, that's always been like my go-to order. Anytime I do a long trip, everyone should go to Domino's because obviously it's the best pizza. And finally, Frosties, especially this blue cream soda. And if y'all don't believe me, or if y'all think I'm lying, too bad. And just follow more for me, especially. It's honestly a crazy and a scary idea to change gimmicks, especially after 4 years. But I've never been more excited to do this, or like so eager to finally do this kind of character. I've been sort of workshopping this since I want to say February this year, and now I'm like finally going to be able to pull that trigger. I'm like eager for it, and I want people to like really like in a way sort of fall in love with it. I've had other people say they loved it. I want hopefully more people will. And I want that to just really be my name. And then I've also heard sort of like a critique. Why is it that I'm saying this is more me, but I'm changing it from Izzy Vaden to Blackjack? I've in a way I've thought about that. I think it's mainly because I've also just been known as Izzy Vaden. And I like that because that's just my name, sort of my government name. But I wanted to go more for wrestling superstar kind of name, but it's still me. But I want to go for, okay, there's a clear difference, but it's like the same person. There's a difference between Izzy Vaden and Blackjack. That and Lifeguard has been followed with Izzy Vaden for forever, and I like that name. That Blackjack is just because I've seen it all over, guys. If y'all can't tell, I live in the sticks, so like I gotta like so. That like this is sort of like somewhat of the background I got, but like I've also just thought it was a cool name. But I also want to again separate the two. So yes, it's more me, and I like that, but I also want to like shoot that out there. Again, it's a crazy kind of shot to take, but you know, it's indie wrestling. You do whatever you want, and I'm very excited. Hopefully, you guys love it. Well, if y'all don't, too bad.
Well, I mean, again. Those who are afraid to fail will never succeed, and if you've been doing something for 4 years, you know it's gonna feel a little different. It's gonna feel until you fine tune it, you know, and you make it what you want to make it. But the only way to do that is to get out there and try. You have to get out there and try, and the fans, your fans, will follow you along the journey. And the easiest way that you can do that, perfect fucking segue, is via Instagram, which is right there on the screen. It has been the entire show. So if you've been here and you've paid attention and you've hung out with us and you have not followed Izzy Vaden, that's what you need to go and do. Over on Instagram, it is Izzy Vaden. Oh, and by the way, check out Linktree / I Love Lifeguard if you want to get to YouTube, maybe merchandise. Maybe some other odds and ends. It's all right there at your disposal. Easy to locate, easy to navigate, and again, easiest way to like or to support is to like, share, and subscribe. So go ahead and make that happen. Mr. Vaden, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to sit down and chat with me tonight. I think it's fantastic that of all places, Gainesville, Florida. Of all places.
You just had to stop me, huh?
I mean, I didn't know, but I think that is hilarious.
I know it. Oh my gosh.
We're definitely.
You could have done it in studio.
Yeah, well, I will definitely be seeing you on the 4th. I'm going to come out and check you out and check out the new character and see it for myself so I can experience it. I'm excited to see it too, and going to be rooting for you. And we'll probably go ahead and bring some diving sticks just to be funny.
Just guys, just one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been my pleasure, man. I cannot thank you enough. And hopefully we circle back around here and we get you back on here shortly, especially after maybe a couple of months of the running the new character and follow up and see what the challenges have been and what you've overcome along the way with it. If there's been any, we won't know till we circle around.
Absolutely. But thank you for having me. This is a super fun time. Like I'm just drinking, talking to people. Like, oh yeah, this is great. I like just talking about wrestling. It's been my first love. Why wouldn't I want to talk about something I love? So, but thank you for this platform. Thank you for the opportunities, and just thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. It's been my pleasure. For our guest tonight, Mr. Izzy Vaden, I am Chris Page, and we will see you next time.